Hi, I'm Antonio Mora. How much worse will anti-Semitism get? That was the title of an op-ed piece this week following the machete assault at a rabbi's home in a New York suburb, a murderous attack on a kosher deli in Jersey City, and a slew of other anti-Semitic attacks in the New York area over the past month. Sadly, it could get much worse, even though the Anti-Defamation League says that assaults, harassment, and vandalism against Jews are already at near historic levels in the U.S. In 2018, an average day saw more than 5 anti-Semitic incidents, including the deadliest attack on Jews in U.S. history at a Pittsburgh synagogue. While anti-Semitic attacks are mostly carried out by men, they come from across the racial and religious spectrum. Some of the worst recent anti-Semitic attacks in the U.S. have been perpetrated by white supremacists, Islamist extremists, and African Americans, who likely hate each other as well. The picture is disturbing around the world. An alarming report from Tel Aviv University found, quote, anti-Semitism is no longer an issue confined to the activity of the far left, far right, and radical Islamist triangle. It has mainstreamed and become an integral part of life. Study after study shows anti-Semitism rising, with the most noticeable increase coming in Western democracies. A global survey by the Anti-Defamation League found a sharp increase in anti-Semitic attitudes in Central and Eastern Europe, where most European Jews lived before the Holocaust. More than a third of the adult population in representative countries expressed a high level of anti-Semitic views. But the problem is severe in Western Europe too. Britain's Labour Party got trounced at the polls in part because of anti-Semitism. Labour's leader, Jeremy Corbyn, had historically endorsed anti-Semitic propagandists, called Hezbollah and Hamas friends, and failed to convincingly dismiss the allegations of anti-Semitism. 52% of Austrians regard the discussion of the Holocaust as excessive, as do 42% of Germans, 40% of Belgians, 38% of Italians, and 37% of Spaniards. The vanishing legacy of the Holocaust is a major issue. A 2018 survey by a Jewish organization, the Claims Conference, found that Americans know little about the Holocaust. 31% of American adults and 41% of millennials believe that only 2 million or fewer Jews were killed. 41% of adults and 66% of millennials do not know what Auschwitz is. It's gotten so bad that West Virginia has had to implement Holocaust training for its corrections staff after correction officer cadets were photographed giving a Nazi salute. They were saluting a professor who encouraged the gesture. She said she was unaware of the racial and historical implications. Incredibly, she taught cultural diversity. Dozens of people were fired. Just as incredible was the removal of the principal of a large public high school in Boca Raton, Florida, after he responded to a parent by saying, quote, not everybody believes the Holocaust happened, and that I can't say the Holocaust is a factual historical event because I am not in a position to do so as a school district employee who needs to stay politically neutral. That is jaw-droppingly stupid. No wonder we face an epidemic of ignorance. And then there's the growth in anti-Zionism, which often goes hand in hand with anti-Semitism. It's common on the left and fairly popular on American college campuses. On the other political extreme, anti-Semitic tropes and the glorification of Hitler are common among the so-called alt-right. No wonder American Jews are fearful. An American Jewish Committee survey showed 31% of respondents said that they had taken steps to hide their Jewish identity in public, while 25% said that they now avoided Jewish sites. And that survey was conducted before the recent attacks. Minimizing, discounting, and excusing anti-Semitic attacks is unacceptable. The U.S. must face the crisis head-on, aggressively prosecuting attackers and purveyors of anti-Semitic hatred, while making sure American schools teach children about the Holocaust with no ifs, ands, or buts. It's the only way to avoid regressing to the darkest times in history. We must never forget.